Was UFC 313 all we thought it would be, or did it disappoint? I think UFC 313 was a very solid card. We had 4 stoppages, 6 decisions. Now, with that being said, in the main event, we had Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev for the light heavyweight title. Magomed Ankalaev defeats Alex Pereira by unanimous decision. This fight was very close in my opinion. Ankalaev did more than pull time to get his hand raised. Ankalaev fought mostly off the front foot. Alex just, for whatever reason, just was fighting off the back foot. The significant strike totals tell the tale of the fight, in my opinion. Ankalaev landed 3 times as many head strikes, almost double the body strikes, and Alex landed almost double the leg kicks. There wasn't a lot of action in this fight, so it didn't take much for somebody to get ahead in a round. There were a couple rounds where Ankalaev just held Alex up against the cage, and Alex, all he could do was defend. I know some people are saying Alex got robbed, but I honestly think he didn't actually do enough to win the fight. He never hurt Ankalaev at any point. The heavier strikes were landed by Magomed Ankalaev. I will give Alex credit. He defended all the takedown attempts, but he didn't do anything offensively outside of leg kicks the entire fight. Alex only landed 11 significant strikes to the head in a 25-minute fight. If I had told you that going in, would you have honestly thought he had won the fight? And if I told you the fight went to decision? Ankalaev also landed the biggest shot of the entire fight at the end of the second round, where he rocked Alex bad and almost dropped him. The entire fight, I think Alex only landed 2 strikes that even got a good reaction out of Ankalaev. For me, Ankalaev's quickness, the clinch work, the boxing, the forward presser just ended up being the difference in the fight. But I do think we will get a rematch with the fight being so close. There's not another top contender currently in place, so I think we'll end up getting a rematch. The second half of the fight, Ankalaev used the clinch, holding Alex up against the cage, and it pretty much just shut Alex's offense down, and it worked to a T. You can't lose a round if you don't allow the other guy any offense. It wasn't the prettiest fight for Ankalaev, but he did what he needed to get his hand raised. Alex did a great job of keeping the fight on the feet, but didn't do enough to get out of the clinch or off of the cage. To me, this fight came down to the 3rd round. I thought rounds 1 and 5 were clear for Pereira, and I thought rounds 2 and 4 were very clear for Ankalaev. Round 3 was definitely the closest round, but I do think Magomed Ankalaev did enough to win the round. I think a rematch is definitely warranted. Poatan has earned it, in my opinion, with 3 title defenses. Plus, like I said, there just isn't another clear-cut contender anyways. Let's get Ankalaev Pereira too. What's up, everybody? Crossover MMA back in here for another video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. In the co-main event, we had Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Justin Gaethje defeats Rafael Fiziev by unanimous decision. This fight served as pretty much a repeat as their first fight. Rafael Fiziev came out very hot, very fast in the first round. Since taking this fight on short notice, you figure he would start very fast, and he indeed did that, and he ended up winning round 1. As the fight went on, Fiziev then started to slow down, and that's when Gaethje's boxing started to show itself in the second fight, just like it did in the first fight. Fiziev fell victim to uppercuts in the first fight and in the second round of this fight as well. Gaethje dropped Fiziev with a massive uppercut, just in tight in the clinch. Beautiful uppercut. Gaethje also landed some really good shots in close and in the clinch in the second and third round. Once Fiziev slowed down, Gaethje really seized control of the fight. In my opinion, Gaethje showed really good resiliency again. I think that's very big for his confidence going forward. This was a big bounce back performance for Justin Gaethje after getting KO'd in his last fight against Max Holloway. I think this win will serve as to rejuvenate him and do wonders for his confidence moving forward. I think Fiziev loses nothing from his performance in this fight as well. Like, he fought very well, he just ran out of gas and just didn't have enough. He took a really tough fight on short notice, fought well, and just came up short. Gaethje has some options on who he should fight next. You could do Arman Tsarukyan, you could do the Dustin Poirier trilogy, you could do a Charles Oliveira rematch, you could do Ilia Topuria. I think all those matchups make sense. I'm not really sure that we should throw Gaethje in there with Islam Makhachev though. In the feature fight, we had Jalin Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Ignacio Bahamondes defeats Jalin Turner by first round submission. Both guys came out exchanging very quickly. They wasted no time getting right to the action. Bahamondes was pretty much on the back foot, and Jalin Turner was pushing forward on the pressure. Turner ends up getting on top after they got tangled up and literally in the first minute into the fight, and they went down to the ground. Jalin Turner's on top, trying to mix in a little bit of ground and pound. And at this point, Bahamondes is defending very well off his back, landing some elbows that look very good. Then next thing you know, Bahamondes goes for a triangle, and he ends up turning Turner, and Bahamondes then tightens up the triangle, and Jalin Turner taps. It was a very short fight, but a beautiful display of BJJ by Ignacio Bahamondes. He should have a number next to his name on Tuesday and can start moving up the rankings. After the fight, Jalin Turner announced his retirement, and he said he had been contemplating it since UFC 300. And I just think it was a confidence thing after losing that fight at UFC 300 the way he did, and now losing the fight last night. I just think he's just not in a good place mentally. I wish him nothing but the best in the future, and I hope he gets into a good headspace mentally. Matchups I like for Ignacio Bahamondes moving forward would be either Beneil Dariush or Renato Moicano. In the next fight, we had Amanda Lemos versus Iasmin Lucindo. Amanda Lemos defeats Iasmin Lucindo by unanimous decision. This was 15 minutes of Amanda Lemos just laying on top of Iasmin Lucindo. A total of 16 significant strikes were landed in this fight, and 12 of them were by Amanda Lemos. I'm not spending much time on this, but Amanda Lemos should get matched up with probably Tatiana Suarez next. In the next fight, we have Bobby King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. Mauricio Ruffy defeats Bobby Green by brutal head kick KO in the first round. Ruffy came out on the pressure, backing Green up straight away, and at this point, Ruffy was just controlling the distance and standing right at the edge of the void. Both men were just giving a lot of feints and just trying to draw out reactions from the opponent. Then Mauricio Ruffy just uncorks a right hand. It's the first right hand he throws in a fight, and it lands clean on Bobby Green, wobbling him, hurting him badly. After this, you can tell Ruffy senses the kill and blood in the water and just going for it. He ends up backing Bobby Green up against the fence, and then throws a spinning heel kick, lands up against the side of the head, and it knocks Bobby Green out cold. It was a beautiful KO and a very early contender for KO of the year. It might be wrapped up already, but we'll wait and see. Those fight nerds are for real, guys. And what else can you say about them? Mauricio Ruffy, in my opinion, he needs a ranked guy in his next fight. And I think a good matchup for him would be Benoit Saint Denis. Now we got into the prelim highlights. In the next fight, we have Bruno Ferreira versus Armen Petrosyan. Bruno Ferreira defeats Armen Petrosyan by second round submission. The first round was very tit for tat. Petrosyan was trying to stay on the outside. Ferreira was more so trying to blitz and land these big hooks, and he ended up landing one, and it rocks Petrosyan straight away in the fight. In the fight, Petrosyan was landing strikes at range, but he just wasn't doing much damage, and Ferreira's just landing the bigger shots in the first round. Round two, Ferreira comes out much more forward on the pressure. You can really tell he's really trying to get after Petrosyan. Petrosyan is really using his footwork to try and circle out and get away. Ferreira then gets a takedown with a little over a minute left in the round. Ferreira climbs on Petrosyan's back, swivels to an armbar, and gets the tap. It's a very nice submission, very beautiful submission from Bruno Ferreira, and a very good bounce back win for him. In the next fight, we have Alex Morono versus Carlos Leal. Carlos Leal defeats Alex Morono by TKO in the first round. Carlos Leal came out walking forward straight away. He got right on the pressure and put Alex Morono on the back foot up against the cage from the word go. Morono couldn't really get any respect from Carlos Leal, and the first shot that Leal landed didn't get a good reaction from Morono at all. Leal could sense that there was blood in the water and just continued going after Morono. Leal just stayed right on the pressure, right in his face, and just started unloading on combinations. And then Carlos Leal got him up against the side of the octagon again, and Morono just had no space, and then Leal just starts to break Alex Morono. And Alex Morono couldn't really get out of the way of any of the shots. And then Morono wasn't really defending himself. He would throw back every once in a while, but he was just eating shots. And at this point, Keith Peterson jumps in, stops the fight, and it's a first round TKO win for Carlos Leal. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be on the lookout for more content. Questions, comments, feedback is always welcome. And as always, until next time.